Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to perhaps the last Madman commentary track. I am not feeling suicidal, so if I'm found in a ditch after this, or if my car magically hits a tree, whatever the case, it wasn't me. The reason I'm making this disclaimer is today we're watching the 1999 film Eyes Wide Shut, which is Kubrick's quote-unquote last film. If officially it was never finished by Kubrick. He had other things he wanted to do with this, but he mysteriously died before it could be properly finished. And of course, the opening scene, we have a nude Nicole Kidman. Very epic. So, lot to talk about with this movie. A lot that's been said over and over again by other people, but I'm going to say it the Madman way. It's not new information, it's just presented better. That's what I try to do on this channel. And fail. So, here we have Tom Cruise. Messy ass fucking house, but you know, they're living in it. They got a young kid. You can forgive them. All the art on the wall fucking sucks. I always hated the art. I think his wife painted it. It's fucking terrible. Also, we get a nice shot of her taking a piss. Very epic. And also, if you pay close attention, you'll notice the strange white object tied to her right thigh. That is a wire. That's a wire she's wearing. Meaning she's already surveilling old Tom here. That is not a feminine undergarment. It's a wire. Because she's already joined the cult that she's trying to drag her husband into, which is the premise of the film. So again, lots of epic paintings, and my god, this house looks expensive. I'm sure it's a $10 million Epstein tier New York mansion. Oh, we got a nice cat behind them too, staring at them with green eyes, right between the two as they walk forward. And it's like, here's our half-Jewish, half-Mexican babysitter. Don't worry, I will babysit your daughter. We will watch porno all night together. Anyway, they're both dressed in all black, like they're going to a fucking funeral. Very somber dinner. Of course, you know, black tie is called black tie for a reason, but look at the optics of it. The whole apartment is white, everything's very bright and childlike with all the shitty paintings that look like they were painted by a child, because they suck ass. Speaking of art, this movie in general reminds me a lot of Burnt Orange Heresy, which I did a review of, which you should watch, and like and subscribe. Anyway, they meet these people at this party. Very epic. He's like, I don't say that to the women that end up in ditches. I don't say much to them at all. Adult small talk. Just kill me. I hate it so goddamn much, man. Ugh. This is the real reason I don't want to be rich. It's just the people. Also, two giant boob arrangements of light there, complete with bright nipples in that shot. Very epic. And she's like, you're not part of the cult. Don't you know these creepy people? And he's like, no. Also, it's useful to look up the name Ziegler. What does that mean, I wonder? Let's Google it together. Oh, and pay attention to the pianist. He's going to come up later. So Ziegler, if I'm not mistaken. What does it mean? What could it mean? Ah. A tiler. Or a mason. Okay. Middle High German roof tile. A brick maker or bricklayer. So Ziegler is a mason who's invited them to this fancy dinner. The band's going to take a break to drink some blood. We'll be right back. Standing ovation. Very epic. Thank you. Also, Jesus Christ, Tom's haircut in this, he looks like he's from the fucking 50s. He's got like an 80s mullet with like a 1950s front end. What the fuck kind of haircut is that, dude? They're gonna refuse you membership into the secret society just because your hair looks like shit. I'm sure they've refused other people for less. Also, she just chugs a whole thing of champagne. You know, her body weight. That's gonna make you a little loopy there, my dear. And of course, his name is Bill, as in a bill of money. Interesting choice of name. Taps him on the gut. Your Goa'uld alien parasite hasn't changed a bit, my friend. He's like, how's yours doing? He's like, you know, wife kind of whips me around. It's part of the deal. And the pianist is kind of an outsider too. It's implied later that he isn't really part of the cult because he has to be blindfolded when he performs at the epic masked ball that they have. So the artist and this doctor, Tom Cruise's character, they're both close to the cult, but they're still outside of it. Maybe because it's a creepy hell cult that they probably shouldn't join. And so he tells him, I'm going to be playing at this cafe. You know, got to make a living. Got to bang those keys. Meanwhile, your wife is banging old businessmen. She's getting drunk so she can fuck somebody she doesn't really want to fuck. Liquor will really loosen you up for swinging, especially if you're not really into it. And doing something you're not legitimately interested in doing, when your emotions and your moral compass are not aligned to that action, is the equivalent of selling your soul. That's really what this movie's about. And she places her drink down as a nice little subtle signal to this salt and pepper George Clooney looking motherfucker. Ooh. Picks up her drink. Now, it's not clear if she's really drunk or if she's acting drunk because she thinks these guys like it when she acts drunk. Women will do that. If they think you like a drunk partner, they'll act a little more drunk than they are. That's a madman tip. Yeah, you're Hungarian, all right. You're hung and hungry. Maybe you're thirsty, too. Whew. Thirsty for her champagne. She's like, that glass was actually my piss, you dirty boy. Man, don't ever start your fucking date or your interaction with a woman in any context by asking her if she's read a poet. It's like the most incel shit ever. The incels, ye old incels, were poets. Nowadays they're gamers. But of course, Ovid is a guy who could change shape. He could metamorphose. Like the devil, right? And also like the members of these creepy societies. There's a sort of implication that they take different forms, they put on masks. That's part of the theme of the film. Again, this is one of those movies. It's like Burnt Orange Heresy. I could talk about this for 6 hours. I could write a thesis about this. I'm not going to do that. I'm giving you my off-the-cuff impression of it. I've watched it maybe 3 times in my life, and I haven't seen it in many years. I'm grateful for the opportunity to watch it again, though, and I hope you guys like the commentary. Whoever you are, whoever's watching this, hope you enjoy this. If not, fuck you. Hope you hate it. I hope it's a 2-hour and 40-minute session of suffering for you that you will never recover from, that will haunt you the rest of your days. So again, she's acting sort of dreamy, childlike, Alice in Wonderland kind of attitude. We don't know if she's really that drunk or if she's pretending, but, you know, she knocked back some champagne, you know. Meanwhile, she's still watching her husband. So it's implied that she's joined the cult recently and she's not familiar with the swinger, morally loose kind of lifestyle. And this guy goes, well, the charms of marriage, you know, such a strict contract, a bureaucratic government recognition of your romantic, private, personal relationship, which is a creepy thing in and of itself, really the eroticism is from breaking the contract. It's almost like it only exists to be broken. So again, he's tempting her, right? Meanwhile, we have these two drunk chicks. Again, we don't know how drunk they are. Women love to act more drunk than they are. Even college freshmen figure that shit out. I figured it out 10 years after I was supposed to. That's why I don't go out. Can't stand to see this shit. Makes me sick. She's like, "You're Tom Cruise. I love your Mission Impossible films. You make those missions seem a lot more possible. Haha, fuck me." Man, it's hard to watch this movie. It's kind of dated because so many things have parodied it. Venture Brothers has one of the best parodies of this, where the whole thing turns out to be a simulation, which I think is fucking great. If you haven't watched Venture Brothers, my god, what is wrong with you? Watch the entire series. It's one of the best things ever animated by humans. I would put it... It's in the same realm as Eon Flux. Venture Brothers is very long. It's much more character-driven. It's more dramatic, more soap opera-y, but it's worth watching. You should watch the whole thing. Invest the time. It's worth it. You start to care about the characters even if you don't want to. It's effective art. And it has a scene that parodies this entire film. Again, like a bunch of other different subsequent creations of media have parodied it. So again, these chicks are small-talking old Tom here. Uncle Tom. He's like the Uncle Tom of white people. Think of all the orgies they miss. We've got a mud pit in the basement and... Spoiler alert, it's naturally sourced mud. And Tom's like, where are you trying to drag me, you drunk bitches? Notice my smile is kind of nervous and slightly menacing. Man, the psychological truth that hit me the hardest when I was in my 20s was that human beings are not capable of recognizing emotional nuance in facial expressions until they reach about the age of 25, men and women. When someone's faking happiness or when they're not sad but depressed, which is very different, their facial expression changes, and the human eye does not gather enough data to interpret those nuances until a person usually reaches their mid-20s. And when you watch movies when you're 19, you know, you might be intellectually informed, you might be, you know, some kind of autistic savant, whatever. You might appreciate films, you know, even down to the actors' performances. But then, if you haven't seen a movie since before you hit 25, watch it again. Because you'll, if the actors are good, their facial emoting will be noticeably better, because you'll be able to see the conflicted and complex emotions fighting underneath the surface. It's a boon of age if you manage to make it past 25, which thankfully most of us do in the West. Anyway, my point is just that the performances in this are quite good. Whatever Kubrick intended to add or subtract from this, whoever cobbled this together after the fact did a pretty good job. And we'll talk about that later, about what Kubrick apparently wanted to include. So, he's been brought up here because he's a doctor. One of these people's like, well, his hooker is ODing. And he's being very clinical, very medical. You know, he's not sucking on her tits. He's actually concerned that she survives. So he's demonstrating a resistance to temptation, which these cults seem to favor. They don't like people who are ape-brained golems that will give into temptation on the surface, which is part of why the title has such play in terms of the themes of this movie. If you are distracted by surface-level things, instant gratification, dopamine hits, gaming, gambling, sex, all these types of things. These cults don't want you, which is what makes them all the more insidious, as they masquerade as something divine or holy, something that's beyond physical temptation. They want people who are intelligent, who have self-control, and they tempt you with friendship, camaraderie, networking, all these types of things, because ultimately they just want to use you as a tool. They want you to think that you have some autonomy or that you're benefiting from the relationship, but like any cult or king or queen or vampire or necromancer or whatever, insert whatever domineering personality you'd like, they just want thralls. And there are groups like this that want smart thralls because they're better tools. If you have a pocket knife that has 50 different applications because it has all these different tools tucked into itself, that's better than just a hammer. You know, a hammer is a stupid person, a pocket knife is a more intelligent person. But they're both tools. So, this doctor, thankfully, or whoever the fuck he is, this guy wearing the glasses, he's got slightly better taste in art. He's got some geometric shit on his walls. None of Tom Cruise's wife's art is here, which is, you know what? I gotta give the guy props, gotta give him respect. Now pay attention to this woman who Tom Cruise's character saves here, or treats. I mean, half of what he really does is just to console this old guy. And when you rewatch this movie, you realize that this whole scenario might have been contrived to test Tom Cruise's sense of mercy or, his group cohesion, his camaraderie, that sort of thing. It's not really clear. He never draws this chick's blood. He has no tools to test whether she's actually intoxicated or affected by some drug. He's just thrust into this scenario. So again, you might look to fantasy or philosophy for these types of scenarios where a character is tested, where some god in disguise comes down and goes, oh, what if there's a starving beggar who asks you for a piece of bread and you run a granary? You have lots of bread. Will you give her a piece? It's that type of thing. But again, who's behind that? What forces are orchestrating these tests? Any force that could orchestrate such a test should be looked at skeptically. If you're not a retard, you're going to be skeptical of anyone who could put together anything like this. Not even indulging in my speculation about this scenario with the hooker, right? Even just the party in general. These people are wealthy, they're well connected. You should be skeptical of people like that. I think that's a healthy thing to have, is skepticism for those types of people. They probably did some shady shit. As if people don't know that. I'm not, dropping truth bombs up in this bit. I'm not doing that. But, again, the second test is this guy goes, don't blab about this. Keep this between us. So that's sort of another subtle test. And again, all the while Tom's up there, his wife is schmoozing on some random Hungarian guy. I mean, he has a certain kind of older man sophistication to him, And Nicole Kidman, maybe she's not sure she wants to join the cult. And the other thing, too, with the whole scene with her pissing where she reveals that she has a wire. It's a very quick scene. There's a triangular white object on her right thigh. There's a million fucking YouTubers who've pointed this out. I don't have to justify it. Go look it up. Maybe she's wearing a wire because she's trying to infiltrate the cult. But what the film eventually argues is that she is part of things from the beginning. If she was at some point assigned to infiltrate the sex cult or this rich group of people, whatever it is, maybe she changes sides at some point. We don't know. And she flashes her ring. She's like, this diamond represents my commitment. Then she says, Let's be quiet about this. Well, like the older man told Tom, let's not tell people about this. Then we get a scene of her, again, naked before the mirror, eyes wide shut. This movie is not about the sexual imagery. You can safely ignore all of it. The movie is about everything but the sexual imagery. And in the same way, again, this isn't genius level shit. Porn is used to distract citizens in a society from much more shady, evil shit going on. Porn is a type of distraction. And again, to make these claims in the 90s, really before the internet took over, I mean, it makes this film worth seeing. It makes it worth talking about, which is why I'm doing this commentary. And also, I should say, of course I'm not doing this as Plinkett for two reasons. One, because it would diminish this film's significance, and two, because that shit takes effort. To do the Plinkett voice for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, it's difficult to do, and people didn't really respond to it, so fuck it. I'm not going to do it. Now here we have an interesting scene too. This is a lot like the scene at the opening of The Shining where the kid's watching TV, but it's very quick. Then of course we cut to another scene where Tom is demonstrating his professional detachment from the human form. He's a doctor, of course he has to look at tits and asses and probably nasty 500-pound men's hemorrhoid-ridden buttholes all day, you know. He's able to look at naked children and not be tempted, right? So he has this resilience, and that's part of the reason the cult is interested. It's like, well, this guy is sort of transcendent. He's able to be detached from his physical desires. His profession demands that kind of detachment. And there's very few people, and there are very few professions that demand that type of thing. Oh, and fuck, I missed the book she's wrapping. It's some artist. I'm sure it's a Kubrick detail. But anyway. The point is, this is a functional, rich couple. They both have, high-paying careers. And Nicole Kidman's character in this scene, she's talking to Tommy Boy and saying, well, we should really thank the Zieglers, a.k.a. the Masons, for inviting us to that Masonic ball. Because again, the last name Ziegler means tile layer, brick layer, or mason. That's what it means. And I don't think this this movie is I don't think it has a complete picture of who or what the Masons are, or what they do. I don't know if anybody does except the Masons themselves. Which is part of what makes this so creepy, is the secrecy and the lack of knowledge leads everybody who's not involved in the cult to assume the worst. You know, human beings assume the worst when they look into a dark jungle and see a pair of yellow tiger eyes staring out at them. Maybe it's two fireflies. Maybe it's benign. But maybe it's not. So now Tom and Nick are smoking some epic weed. And she's saying, I saw you with two women. Meanwhile, Tom didn't see her with, George Clooney type guy, whoever the fuck he was. Hungarian man, hungry man. He's like, I own a franchise called Hungry Man. The Hungarians kill their own people and grind them into meatloaf and then freeze it and sell it to Americans. It's very funny. It's an epic joke. My father owns the company. We do it just to laugh. It's very funny to watch the Americans eat our dissidents. China has been doing the same thing for thousands of years. When you eat Chinese food, you're really eating Chinese people. Very funny. So again, she's like, well, you were hitting on people. She's trying to humiliate him, right? She's doing the humiliation ritual thing. And he's like, those two bitches magnetized onto my arms and tried to lead me to some creepy fucking area, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. And then Old Man Glasses dragged me up to save this hooker's life. And of course, because he's sworn to secrecy, he tells her, well, nothing. He's like, well, I'm not going to say, she's assuming that he fucked those chicks. So her judgment of his resilience to temptation is called into question because she didn't see what he was doing. And that's the problem with these fucking cults, man. If you operate your society like one of these cults, where nobody knows what the fuck anyone's true interests or actions are, then your society eventually collapses into disparate groups that fight each other in crypto-civil wars that drain resources and kill people. Whether it's behind the scenes or openly, it doesn't matter. It becomes an endless conflict upon conflict upon conflict. It becomes a nightmare. That's why I'm adverse to the idea of secret societies. And it's why Kennedy was killed for saying pretty much that. He said, this America is opposed to secret groups and societies. Oops, he died right after he said that. What a tragedy. I'm sure it had nothing to do with what he said. Now, it's also useful to mention that weed was explored, or THC rather, as a chemical was explored by the CIA as a type of truth serum, like a lot of compounds were. And from personal experience, I can tell you, weed will make you say a lot of crazy shit. But like most quote-unquote truth serums, weed will make you say a whole bunch of shit that you probably don't really believe. And then when you sober up, you're like, fuck, why did I say that? It's no more reliable than alcohol. And sodium pentothal is the same. Same with LSD. They make you say a bunch of shit, but they don't make you tell the truth. Only moral discipline and good habits and mental fortitude can make you a truth speaker. It's very difficult to find a person who can actually tell the truth, because you can really only do it when you're sober. So now they're having an argument about faith and marital behavior. And Tom's like, well, there are exceptions. And this is a pretty natural scene. I really like their performances in this. The cinematic qualities of this movie shine through in the main characters' performances. Cruise and Kidman really are great actors, and they show that off here. They're very good. There is a Shakespearean quality to this. They're very fucking good. She's like, you wanted to fuck them, didn't you? And again, her name's Alice, of course. Alice in fucking Wonderland. Jesus Christ. They make it more obvious. Trust me, guys, I've tried telling women, I was attracted to this chick and I didn't fuck her because I wanted to be faithful to you. And the reaction that I got from the person I told that was not a good reaction. Honesty is not always the best policy. Just saying. That's what this scene is trying to show. That's why it's a good scene. It's realistic. The thing Tom should have said to her was, well, they were nasty drunken whores slobbering all over me, and they made me feel sick, and I wondered where you were. And again, now he's using his profession against her. He's trying to use that as ammo to be like, I'm detached from the female form. There's always a nurse present when I stare at women's tits. And she's like, oh, so you're medically detached from these people? You're at a party with two women hitting on you and you're going to treat them like patients? Yeah, right, dude. Again, the psychology in this is so fucking interesting. Just the male-female eternal battle. So it makes this movie so good, man, in terms of the performances. And now he's appealing to her emotions like a woman. She's afraid I might find cancer. And this chick's like, women are emotional masters of manipulation, man. Don't try that shit on me. Try something else. And he goes, I don't know, Alice. Take a pill. Become 10 feet tall. Go down the rabbit hole. Fuck you. Now she's bringing up evolution. She's hitting him with some masculine logic. She's like, well, what about women? Women don't have a sex drive? Of course they do, you retard. You're a doctor. Now the famous line, if you men only knew. And she's frustrated because she wants an emotional reaction from this guy. It would turn her on if he got mad. And he goes, well, we have kids. We're in a fucking marriage. And she's probing him. It's like she's been corrupted or possessed by this fucking cult. By their creepy ass, degenerate erosion of marriage as a concept. She starts laughing at him. And now he's getting angry. Again, they're both high as fuck, but, you know, like with the champagne, she has a lower body weight. You know, the weed's probably hitting her harder. Again, this performance is great. Both characters, both actors, excellent performance. Really good. I mean, imagine doing this scene. Imagine trying to be one of these characters. My God. Now she hits him with the hammer blow. Again, this whole scene is very reminiscent of the Burnt Orange Heresy, with these two characters trying to probe and fuck each other. It's like they're two different species of aliens trying to shove interstellar metal rods up each other's asses. Such a tiring, trite, pathetic exchange. Boring. Boring. But, in the context of the film, interesting. It makes a tired exchange seem interesting. AKA, it's a performance. And she's like, when we were at Cape Cod, I saw this Marine guy. And he made my panties. the tide came in me panties, me love. There was a storm of sexual waves that hit me ballast, and me mainmast went down. Cthulhu emerged from the waves and slobbered upon me kit, and then I couldn't resist rubbing myself all night. Also, she's got pearl earrings. That's perfect. Perfect. Uh-oh, Tom's angry. He's gonna put you in a Scientology hothouse with a bunch of other people who may or may not be of legal age and do things that aren't filmed because the Scientology compounds are very remote, like St. James. Very epic. I don't know when Tom Cruise joined Scientology. I hope it was after this. Because if it was before this, it kind of ruins this movie's whole sort of conceit. And, really Kubrick is a genius because he didn't just sell this film to the producers in Hollywood. He sold it to the actors. Because actors aren't all idiots. When they're looking into a piece of art written as a script, usually if they're seasoned actors, they're going to have some sense of what the script is really trying to say, subtextually. And the fact that Kubrick got both these actors to agree to play these characters in this situation, it's very interesting. And she's like, I'm more evil than you. Basically, this conversation is, how tempted are we as a couple? Tom is saying, well, I'm tempted all the time, but I'm stoic. I'm like Marcus Aurelius. I'm not tempted by anything. And she's going, well, I'm more deserving of mercy. I'm more of a victim of temptation. I'm more weak because I would have given up you and our daughter just to fuck this random guy. That's how sexually tempted women are, and you don't even know it, because you're an idiot, even though you're a doctor. You don't know how sexually charged women are. You know, again, they're fighting this it's like the Soviets and the US firing nukes at each other, these two characters. And it's like, how many of your cities have I destroyed? How many of my cities have you destroyed? I barely slept that night. Yeah, you were flicking the bean, I get it. And she's just trying to fuck with him. This is a married couple whose only real spark left in the marriage is just trying to fuck with each other. How can I make you feel weak so that the Dom-sub relationship can be flipped yet again? You know? How fucking tiresome. How boring. I'd rather be with no one. Or I'd rather be with someone who is a companion, not in a bond of marriage. Not in some creepy-ass, bureaucratic, government-sanctioned thing. Or religiously sanctioned any bureaucratic body. Government and a religious organization are not that different. It's the same crap. Hierarchies wanting to voyeuristically control your life. That's all it is. And then, thankfully, conveniently, he gets a call. Ooh, Tom, what could it be? She's like, pouty. Now we can't continue our weed-fueled ego battle. What a tragedy. Fuck this, man. Fuck all this. When can we just be in robot bodies, man? When can we escape all this crap? I don't even care if the robot bodies are demonic anymore. This is worse. This is so much worse. This rotting meat. Surely silicone is better than this. Anything is. Anyway, enough with that nihilistic crap. Ooh, man, looks like he's walking into a fucking Egyptian temple. Jesus Christ. Fucking decor in this place. God damn. I feel like I'd wither up into a mummy if I walked in here. Whew. So fucking cold, man. All these New York apartments and shit. Whew. It's like walking into a morgue. It's like, have some fucking taste. Don't paint everything the same creamy white rotting cum color. Ugh. Again, we get a Christmas tree in the corner. A lot of Christmas trees in this movie. It's almost like it takes place during the holidays. But all the Christmas trees look the same. They have the same multicolored lights. They're a motif. Again, I'm giving Kubrick a lot of credit because he deserves it. He seems to actually put the autistic effort into making seemingly innocuous random props and backdrop elements mean something. Even if he's just doing it to trick you or fuck with you, at least he's paying attention, which is why I give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, and there he is. Yes, he's definitely dead. I can confirm. I'm a doctor. He's cold, therefore he's dead. I spent 12 years in medical school to be able to tell you that. Please take comfort in my definitive diagnosis. And again, this circumstance, kind of suspicious. Did the daughter kill him? I don't know. It's hard to say. She's telling him a story. Can he keep another secret? Is he also part of the cult? We don't know. And again, maybe this is a genuinely good guy, and maybe this death is just natural, right? That's what we're led to believe, is that Tom Cruise's character is just a guy who gets into these situations because that's his job, right? And she's like, oh, this guy Carl. Huh. Can't remember if the father disapproved of this upcoming marriage. Would have been convenient if he died. I should look up all the names of the characters in this. I'm sure Marion is some ancient Greek goddess or something. Kubrick was so fucking autistic about names, man. Every name means something. Oh, and then she starts kissing him. Isn't that interesting? Why would you do that after your father died? Kind of weird and creepy. So the surface level interpretation is, well, she's dealing with grief and she's expressing that emotion sexually, right? But it could be another test from the cult. Are you going to take advantage of this chick whose father just died? Are you going to exercise restraint, self-control? That's what we want. We want a willing satanic subject. We want someone who's able to control their impulses so that they can be directed directly towards Satan. And he's letting her in a little bit. He's letting down his guard a bit, but he's like, this is not enough to tempt me. And she's remorseful. Please don't despise me. Almost like she was told to try to fuck with him. Again, this movie, I'm indulging in a lot of paranoid interpretations of it for a reason, because it's a Kubrick film and because it's been analyzed to death. But there are certain scenes and certain interactions that I haven't seen interpreted in particular ways. For example, the wallpaper in this film is the fleur-de-lis, the French flower, pineal gland, whatever the fuck that is. Interpret that however you'd like. But it's there. It's all over the fucking walls. Literally, it's the wallpaper. I wonder what that means. I'm not going to look it up while I do this commentary. I have better things to do with my life. So then her husband shows up. And he's forced to confront them. It's like, bro, are you interested in swinging, or are you not cool with the fact that we creepily deny the fact that the swinging is going on, and we constantly live in a nexus between truth and lies, vacillating between the two, like vibrating between heaven and hell for all eternity, to the point where we're not able to occupy either space and not even able to feel comfortable in purgatory. And Tom Cruise is like, bitch, I'm just a doctor and your husband's a creep and your dad's dead. Those are the facts. This is why I love noir movies, man, because they're just about the facts. It's like, well, he was shot 3 times. Also, I've had 3 drinks before I came here. I've also been shot 3 times by a killer called Bourbon. I love noir for that, man. It's so fucking honest about what the fuck's going on. Everything after that is just, it's mired in bullshit. It's like, but we all have to keep secrets and have creepy secret networking cults and do a bunch of crazy shit under the table, behind the scenes, backstage. It's like either don't do what you know is fucked up, or do it individually. Don't involve a whole group of people in your own bullshit. Don't drag a bunch of people down by indulging in whatever your interests are. Oh man, they called him the F word, guys. They'd be #cancelled in 2024. Also, they all have Yale shirts. I love that shit. The whole Yale thing. From another movie, but it's like they're tempting him into some kind of roundabout, bara kind of bro-y gay shit, you know? Like, what, you want to fuck a college boy in his muscly ass? His hairy, muscly ass? No, thanks. Rather puke up blood. Again, the theme of temptation. He's like, I really don't want to be tempted by any of these fucking creeps. I really just want to go home. Little does he know his own wife has already been spiritually raped by the cult. Would you like to come inside? What could that mean? Are your eyes wide shut or are they open? It's a lot nicer in my diseased pussy. The gonorrhea will eat your dick like flesh-eating disease. It'll be rotted off before you know it. Then you'll become a woman. She's got like some kind of Russian getup on. Is it really that cold in fucking New York? Oh, Tom, don't go through the red door. Paint it black. Remember the Rolling Stones. That conditioning should have been in your blood at this point, man. God, you're gonna go through a red door without painting it black? You're already fucked. Oh, look, a Christmas tree with a very prominent red apple that the woman gently bumps into and makes it shake. That red apple in the very middle center of the frame. Isn't that interesting? I mean, Tom is really like an alien coming down to Earth, where it's like, are these really the fucking temptations you're serving me? Is this really all you have to tempt me? This is pathetic. To his credit, to his character's credit, rather. Not the guy, because Tom joined fucking Scientology. But to the character's credit, he seems to sort of be nonplussed about things. He's like, well, oh yeah, okay. Take off whatever you're wearing. Yeah, sure. I never expected this. I never expected to be tempted. Wow, what a revelation. To be tempted by a dirty whore Pathetic. I love it. He's just having fun. He's like, how far are you gonna go? I'm not gonna do anything, but how much can I fuck with you? How much can I allow you to think I've fallen for your temptations just to waste your time? Because you know what? If you're just gonna float around here tempting people, I would love to just waste your time. I would love to just drain all of your energy and time. Because if this is what you're using it for, to tempt people, I hope I can suck it all out of you like a renegade vampire till you're less than a corpse, till you're less than dust. That's what I get from Tom's little smirks here. He's like, oh yeah, put on your show, you know, do whatever you want. Oh, you're dressed in purple. Oh, purple. Very royal, very epic. And again, he's a doctor. He's detached. He's dissociated. Intentionally and professionally dissociated. So he doesn't give a shit when shit gives a shit about him, when chicks try to show him their tits. But ooh, you know what? What his wife said must have gotten to him, because here he is, in the sex chamber. You're in the coitus room, Tom. You're pledging your allegiance to Xenu. The souls are being brapped out of the volcano. My God, Tom, we thought you were better than this. Did you really have to give in to this slut? Ah, seems he did. And again, is he doing this to take revenge on his wife? We don't know. Probably that's the reason. But, ooh, Tom, it seems you're getting a phone call. This is far before iPhones, but, ooh, it's early enough that you're going to be interrupted. Ah, man, she's got demonic tribal masks on her wall. You know what, Tom? It's probably a good thing. Ah, the book's on her fucking shelf. Introducing Sociology. Isn't that interesting? Again, there's Kubrick details all over this movie. She's like, are you going to be fucking that whore much longer? I've got a wire on you. What are they watching? Some old movie from the 70s? I don't know what that is. What Nicole Kidman's watching right now. I'm sure it's a reference to something. Go to the Eyes Wide Shut meme channel for more epic references and research. If you want to waste more of your life, go to that channel. There's actually a dozen of them. Oh, she's got a tiger next to her. Tiger in the woods. Watch out for those glowing eyes. Again, this guy, he's tempted, but he seems to get opportunities to leave, to be saved, to get out. And again, I get the sense from this that Tom's character is pretending. I get the sense that he's fucking with these demons. Like, he's so nonplussed. That's the term that keeps popping into my head. It's easy for him to look at these people like patients. And I think that's what he's doing as a defense mechanism. I think he's looking at them like lab experiments or fetal pigs preserved in formaldehyde. I think that's what he's doing to keep himself from being raped by demons. And you know what? Good for him. He's like, here's some money even though I didn't fuck you. Just so there's no bad blood. I'll even give you some money. Because my soul is worth more to me than some bills. Despite the fact that my name is Bill, my soul is worth more to me than some fucking paper with symbols printed on it. The fuck does that mean? Oh, and the Santana Cafe. The Satan Cafe. Ah, sorry guys, I misread the name of the cafe there for a minute. I'm sure that means nothing. Open till 3 a.m.? Very nice. Red inside? Of course. Why wouldn't it be? And there he is, Nick Nightingale. His buddy. His chum. Man, this reminds me of when I used to live in Montreal. A lot of places like this. I avoided all of them. Another Christmas tree. I'm sure there's a red apple on it somewhere. Oh, satanic jazz. It is good. There's another Christmas tree next to the bass player. God damn. Nice Nimrod tree there. And he's got a nice Palantir glowing orb on his table. Clap over the orb, Tom. Go for it. And his friend's like, hey, you came to watch me bang on the keys. Oh, he's drinking beer. He's gonna be brapping all night. I can't drink that shit these days. And this guy's a traveler. He travels around for his job. Tough life. 4 boys in Seattle. I wonder if that's true. He's like, oh, I got another gig. Starting around 2. And he's like, is it a gay gig in the village? And he's like, no. Actually, it's a little more extreme than that. It's not just gay. It's a little further down the roots of the tree of the Kabbalah. It's a little closer to the soil than that. And he's like, I just play the piano. I don't give a shit who I play for. He's a true ancient Greek musician trying to avoid the fate of Orpheus. He admits to him, I play blindfolded. Like Kubrick, would have to play, would have to work as a filmmaker or an artist. He'd have to work blindfolded. And this guy's willing to do it, but Tom Cruise is the other half of Kubrick's psyche who doesn't want to play blindfolded. Now, this is interesting. He's like, I've seen some things, but never anything like this. He's like, all the women at this party, they were 10 out of 10s. Tom flashing his nice vampire teeth there. He plays a great character in Interview with the Vampire. It's a great movie, too. He knows the location, writes it on a napkin. Tom Cruise steadies the napkin so he can write. God, what a great scene. He's the hand that steadies his friend to write the secret phrase. But he's outside the cult. And Tom's like, I'm not a moron. And again, this whole thing, when you watch this movie for the second or third time, you start to get paranoid. You pick up the virus of paranoia that's inherent to the construction of the film. And you start to think, well, was this a test for Tom Cruise's character? If so, I hope Tom Cruise pipe-bombed the entire mansion and murdered all those fucks. Because this type of testing shit is corny, gay, outdated, and unsustainable. I would love a alternate version of this movie where Tom Cruise just became the Joker and just hunted down every one of those faggot fucks from the mansion, raped them to death with guns before blowing their guts out of their mouths. Wouldn't that be a fun ending? Someone should make a movie about that. Maybe James Wan is up for it, or I don't know, whoever. Anyway, enough of that. Good old Tom's in a good old taxi. He goes to this nice rainbow place. Oh, it's a costume shop. All the world's a stage, and we are merely gayers. Pays off the cabbie to make sure he's happy. Very good. And he goes, okay. Oh, there's some interesting creepy text half obscured by a metal fence. Oliver the Findom. It's like a creepy @ symbol spiral on the far right. Rainbow fashions. Sounds kind of gay, Tom. You sure you want to associate yourself with these people? I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, use your doctor credentials to get in. Pathetic. Man, this guy looks straight out of John Wick. He could be he's the antagonist to John Wick. Are you the Baba Yaga? Come to judge me for my sins. Are you the present child trafficker who owns this child trafficking establishment? I mean, fashion establishment, excuse me. I don't know how I could make such a erroneous slip-up. And he shows him his fucking medical card. As if that matters to these people, man. Fucking Christ. Needs a disguise, a mask. Again, recall the burnt orange heresy. Debney's character says, I've worn so many masks. When I take them off at night, there's always another mask waiting underneath. He doesn't know who his true self is because he's acted too much for too long. If you've been reincarnated in the West over and over, you've worn every mask. And things get very tiring. You start to realize all the masks are the same. And the act of wearing them is itself a mask to cover up something else, something deeper. God, I love how this guy's some creepy Russian fuck. He's like, you want to masquerade as a Orthodox church member? Are you going to a Batushka concert? Their music is very good. Takes him into a room with a red curtain. Looks like alive. The flesh you're in right now is an alien parasite. It looks very lively, does it not? You want an additional mask on top of the meat corpse you're currently piloting. Okay. Well, we have different models of those. Which one do you like? You know, amicable businessman. I gotta hand it to him. He's selling his trade. He's doing a good job. I mean, he's being professional. It's the middle of the night, you know. My hair is starting to fall down too fast. Oh, I got the same problem, my man. It's Saturn beaming evil thoughts into the back of your skull. That produces a bald spot. You just gotta resist them. Eventually you'll die. You won't be of any use as a vessel once you're gone. Oh yeah, I'm sure you gotta get back to bed. You seem very tired. And this is all a performance. If you've seen this movie more than once, you know this guy knows there's already people hiding in here. Under the rainbow. Chinese food. We were just eating some remnants of Chinese dissidents from the latest rebellion that was quashed and turned into meat. And the meat was sold to the States because it's cheap. Cheaper than cattle. Much better to just kill people and turn their meat into what we call pork. Oh no, it's a tranny. Oh my god. 1999? Oh my god. The ultimate travesty. This is all a performance. He knows these people are all supposed to be here. And I love it. He's putting on a show for Tom. Again, it's like another test. It's like, are you tempted by the secrecy of this? Are you tempted by its reveal? Temptation is not just a concept that covers your own temptation as a human. It's, are you tempted by reality? Do you think reality is actually real, or do you think it's all bullshit? If you think it's all bullshit, then people drinking children's blood shouldn't bother you because you've actually accepted that reality's fake, and that those children and the blood and the rape and all the insidious underbellies of society are all an illusion. If you can accept that, you're very dangerous. But if it's real, that's the real hell. Is if you accept it, then maybe you've accepted hell. Maybe you've damned yourself. And again, this chick whispers into his ear like an angel. Through all this temptation and bullshit, all these lights and costumes, she says, get a cloak lined with ermine. It's like receiving a tip during an RPG video game. Somebody's saying, whatever you do, get a cloak lined with ermine. Interesting tip. Maybe it reflects radio waves. The 6G waves from the satanic towers, they can't penetrate ermine. That's why all my clothes are made of ermine. Pretty average scene of Tom in the car here. Nothing really to commentate upon. Driving down the baked blood lanes of vampire roads. Humanity, a giant failed computer meant to calculate something. All of our installations, buildings, roads, houses, they're little computer chips on a cosmic scale. It's a interesting theory you can look up, that the Earth is a giant computer. And I like to pair it with the vampiric shit because Romans figured out thousands of years ago that concrete needed blood, animal or human, either or, because infusing concrete with blood or pavement increased the air bubbles in the concrete, and it enables the finished substance to be more resistant to temperature changes. It's an interesting chemical truth. So, again, this movie, very creepy, very dark, very conspiratorial, very insane, very untrue. It summons up a lot of these old theories that have passed across me brain over the years. And this guy tempts the cabbie with a mutilated $100 bill. It's actually a federal crime to desecrate a bill. Your name is Bill. You're literally a representation of money. Why would you do that? But he comes to the gates of the mansion. And as soon as he gives him the password, he gets in. Oh, but is it the real password? Ooh. Hell of a castle, though, I will say. God damn. Resilient fucking building. Beautiful. Brings him up in some kind of weird red Jeep or something. Wonder what model of car that is. Opens the door for him, very cordial. Ooh, the red carpet. In case your shoes have any traces of child's blood on them from any previous engagement, we'd like to make sure that it's undetectable to our guests. That makes everything a little more cordial, you understand. This guy's got a gold mask. Man, if you ever played the Forest or Sons of the Forest, there's a gold mask item in those games. Very interesting. And he puts on his little hood. Now, he's in. He's inside. It's just a church, bro. That incense is just a mixture of, frankincense, myrrh, and weed, which they found at an archaeological site in Israel. Remnants of weed in an old incense burner. Because hypnotizing your thralls is universal. Ooh, he taps his cane. Now, this is where I should probably mention something before I forget it. One of the scenes Kubrick wanted to include as part of this sequence involved naked children running around the mansion. That's not confirmed. It's not anything that has any validity, but it's something I heard. I heard Kubrick wanted to do that. And here we have our blind piano player. There he is. He's providing the theme music for this. He's the piper playing the notes that tame Yog-Sothoth in the Lovecraftian lore. The minimal amount of order that these demons will accept. Music being the most basic form of order. There's some sort of backwards music being played. The lyrics are probably played backwards. Women have some beautiful breasts in this scene, I have to say. Very aesthetically pleasing. The casting for this was done very well. In the real world, they'd probably be a bunch of old women. Maybe they need masks for their tits, like they have two face masks for one for each tit. Maybe they have a mask for their stretch marked flabby guts. Maybe they have 3 masks on each body. Oh, actually, I have masks for each part of me. We tried to do this without masks, but everybody puked. All the guys lost their boners, and even the ones that were high and on Viagra, they couldn't get it up. So we had to put masks on our tits. they had to have piercings in their belly buttons that act as hooks to hold the masks in place. To mask the flabby, aged, rotting guts of these meat sack freaks. Now, this guy's mask is cool, I gotta say. Again, it's very Venetian. In Venice, there's a festival where everybody wears masks. And Tom's eyes behind the mask. Oh, and the guy nods at him. He's like, I know who you are, motherfucker. Oh! He nods back as if he knows what the fuck he's doing. God damn, this guy's in out of his depth, man. He's so fucked. I have so much more sympathy for Tom in this than I do for any of the Burnt Orange Heresy characters, because those movies share similarities. Burnt Orange Heresy, I think, took inspiration from this. But the characters in this, especially Tom Cruise, he's curious and he's kind of listless, and again, he's very nonplussed. He's able to exude a kind of chill aura despite the fact that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on. But he has this creepy talent to pretend that he does. And that's what damns him. He pretends to know more than he actually knows. And it gets people killed. Man, you know, in 2024, these people would all be playing D&D on some Discord server. They wouldn't be doing this crap. This requires so much money and effort and planning. Fuck that. People have gotten lazier and lazier. These people would all be on Discord LARPing. They wouldn't be doing this. Even if they're 40, 50, 60 years old in 2024, they wouldn't be in this this gay shit. It's corny as fuck. It's like, you really, we all have to pay for cloaks and masks. Do you think anybody's going to agree to that? Do you think anybody's going to do that? No. We'd rather just go on Discord with avatars. Internet avatars are the new creepy occult masks. Isn't that interesting? Your avatar is not your face. Most people don't use a picture of themselves as their avatar. You know what they use? A mask they think represents themselves. Or doesn't. Maybe it's a veil. Maybe it's an obtuse misdirection. Maybe my avatar that I choose is the furthest removed thing from who I am, because I want to embody something different. That's the beauty of the internet. It renders all this shit outmoded. You know, this movie is not threatening to anybody in power because it's so outmoded. The real creepy version of this that exists now in 2024 is Discord. Just go on Discord. Join a random Discord server. Join a dozen. You'll see things like this times 1,000, times a million. The elite don't have to do this anymore. Neither do their subjects. Both groups are spared the inconvenience of this. This is Discord. If Discord existed in the 90s, this movie wouldn't have been made. But it's a beautiful example of film. That's why I'm doing a commentary on it. And there's a lot of beautiful butts in this movie. I mean, my God. There's some holy rumps in this. The rump romps. Whew. My mask wouldn't even be a mask. It would just be my own face. I'd be like, sit here. Again, these are the scenes that supposedly Kubrick originally intended to have naked children running around. Not being fucked, hopefully, but at least involved in the proceedings, which they probably are in real life. Another example of media that deals with this type of cult activity is the second season of True Detective has a climax, and that's not a pun, where the female undercover cop goes to a party like this. But I mean, this is really, it's just people fucking. I mean, you know, in 2024, it's not that controversial. There's not much going on here that anybody would object to. Swinging is, it's pretty much, if it hasn't been normalized, its implications have been normalized. And I'm not some kind of prude. Like, if adults want to fuck each other in whatever way they want to do it, I don't really care. It's whatever, yo. Problem is, these particular parties didn't just involve adults. That's the implication. And he's just watching. They're watching him. They're like, is this guy going to be cool? Is he going to keep the secret? Is he going to reveal our cult? Or is he going to be cool? Well, it all depends on what you offer him. And they're not sure what he wants. That's what creeps them out about him. It makes this movie so interesting. The cult doesn't know how they can tempt this guy. Tom Cruise's character has been honest, but they still don't know what his weakness is. They don't know how to tempt him. He's not tempted by the typical things. And even if he was tempted by something they could offer, he has quite a strong will. So in order to get him, well, maybe they have to restructure their whole society. Maybe he's not worth their effort. Maybe they're too weak to tempt him. Maybe their repertoire of temptations has failed to account for his interests. Maybe they can't bind him, and that's driving them crazy. Now this chick is like, if you keep going down this path, I'm gonna die. And now they're saying, oh, your driver's bugging us. You connected us to the outside world with some kind of pleb fucking Uber driver. The fuck is wrong with you? Should have come here. Ooh, those two guys dancing together. That's very progressive. Hey, wish you all the best, guys. If there's no children in this, if it's just two dudes, it's better than fucking with the children, literally or figuratively. But let's rubber band back to the film. Tom's character, with his very ornate faceplate, is now faced. Ooh, there's a sun and a fucking plague raven mask. Oh my god! Ugh! The judgment of your primordial peers in the Cro-Magnon ape cave, the other ape lords have found your conduct displeasing to the ape wives. You have not contributed enough bananas to the banana pile. And now the banana lord will mush a pie in your face. That's so fucking stupid. All this is such crap, man. These masks and these cloaks, man. Imagine if this whole place were just firebombed or nuked. Or imagine if dynamite were subtly hidden in the masks and, they all blew up at the same time. My God, the blood and gore, the soup of human truth that would be produced by such a cathartic release. My God. All those beautiful columns, all those beautiful shapes destroyed by such a simple thing. What a funny thought to think. That's just evil demonic shit. Let's dismiss it. So our nice Illuminati lord is asking Tommy Boy if he's got the real password. And he says, "Oh, I've forgotten it." Now we have piano notes in the background. His piano friend is not his real friend. He's playing the notes he was told to play. In the soundtrack, listen to it. It's a piano. It's piano notes. You're being tested, you moron. And he takes off his mask. He's being humiliated in front of everyone. He's unmasked and they've got masks. That makes them better. I have a thing over my face. That makes me better than you, 'cause you can't see my face. As if that matters, if we're all gonna be burned in fire! So I think there's an audio glitch there. Been having some problems with my mic lately. Anyway, Tom Cruise is fully exposed here. But, these people just have paper mache plastic gay masks over their faces, and that doesn't really shield them from anything. It's all bullshit. It's all matter. It's all material. But let's leave that type of dialogue for later. In the plot of the movie, which I'm already getting tired of, this chick is like, "Oh, well, you saved me, so now I'll sacrifice myself for you. I shall die and blah, 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 blah." God, could this be more gay? People from the village, gay guys who like to eat shit out of each other's assholes. This is way more gay. Way more gay. This is corny, man. This has not aged well. I'm trying my best to treat the source material with some seriousness, but man, this whole sequence with the masks just makes everybody involved look like a faggot. And I mean that in the totally asexual, non-sexual, non-offensive British term for a bundle of sticks. Everybody here is just like a bundle of sticks if this manor were to be set on fire by some hidden fiery object. Everybody here would burn very quickly. That's all I'm saying. They'd all just be bundles of sticks. Maybe not Tom. Maybe he could run out. Unfortunately, this chick has consigned herself to the plague guy. It looks like a fucking cartoon. He looks like some Darkest Dungeon shit, like, "The plague god has led the naked whore into the sacrifice chamber, and you've just lost 20 sanity points." That's fucking stupid, man. What do you think's gonna happen, you moron? Why don't you just grab this guy by the neck and twist his head off? God, this is the point where in any normal movie, the hero would be like, this is fucked up, I'm just gonna kill you all. I'd rather die trying to kill you than live in whatever creepy reality you're pretending to be able to paint over us, to paint over real people. I mean, ugh, it makes me want to spit. The guys, they want to lick each other's stone anuses. Ugh, the goyim are so disgusting. Makes me want to puke. I puke up sawdust, I puke up gravel, I puke up whatever. Anyway, guys, just looking in on his daughter. Yeah, it's a fun scene. We're going to end the commentary here for a moment so I can take a breath, because this shit is not easy to talk about. So, at about 1:30, 53, 54 p.m. And we're back at 1:30, 57. Oh, yes. So, Tom Cruise is perusing, he's cruising, you might say, his very badly decorated apartment. All that money, all that New York money, and you have to hang your wife's crappy paintings on your walls. What a fucking nightmare. Anyway, Cruise is, in this scene, accessing a secret cabinet. Ooh, he's locked it with a key. Ooh, how strange and secretive of him to do that. Has he picked up that propensity for secretiveness from some creepy cult? Ooh, we won't know the truth. Now he's going to his bed. Man, these past couple scenes, they're lit like fucking gamer OnlyFans fucking scenes. I mean, they're lit like, I don't even know. Some kind of weird shit. Nicole Kidman leaps up. She's like, have you started streaming on Twitch? I'm sorry I woke you, but I thought we might actually get a Twitch following and make some real money. I had such a horrible dream. It was of you not being a Twitch streamer. So again, we have another epic couples romance scene. This is after a woman gave her life to keep him alive. And both these characters are being secretive because the cult they've joined, whether in a direct or roundabout way, it doesn't matter. The cult has told each of them, be secretive to each other in favor of the cult's definition of truth and secrecy. They have submitted themselves to an authority that is compromising their relationship. It's pathetic, sad, stupid, retarded, and I don't know if there are any more pejoratives I can summon up for it. Basically, they're both idiots. And the cult should never have targeted either of them for membership. Unless the cult is very desperate, in which case the cult can go fuck itself. The cult should rot. There should be no new members. The cult should die. It should slowly and silently atrophy. Like a desiccated organ, deprived of blood. God, I would watch that time lapse. It'd be so beautiful. The death of something evil is always beautiful. Now she's trying to apologize to him. She's like, oh, don't worry. Go fuck those two chicks. It's fine. When you were gone, it was different, even though I was wearing a wire in a much earlier scene where I was pissing. And you were supposed to be distracted by the fact that I was pissing in front of you. stretched out naked in the sunlight. Yup. All that's done in the dark eventually comes to the light. Oh, the Hungarian. It was her temptation. It was the naval officer. He wanted to officiate her navel by spraying cum all over it after he pulled out. Pull out of this operation, soldier. You're supposed to cum on her stomach. Too bad Tom Cruise has been passed out and asleep for this whole admission. Ooh. Or has he? Woo! Revives himself like a vampire. God damn. He's like, why don't you be a powerful woman and tell me how tempted you were? He tells her it's only a dream. Has he succumbed to the cult? Or has she? That's the real tension in this whole show, this whole film. Who has sold their soul first? That's the tension. The temptation. That's everything. Who has given themselves up fully and wholly to the core first? Who has become a soulless husk? I mean, the actors already are, but the characters, that's what I'm talking about. What's she admitting to you? It's almost like they drugged you. It's almost like they Bill Cosby raped you. She felt guilty, or at least she's performing very well that she's guilty. If this is a performance, it's a very good performance. And she's like, I wanted to make fun of you, to humiliate you. Ah, yes, humiliation. The ultimate currency. It reveals the truth. It's next to God. My God. Humiliation is next to godliness. Or is it? Guys, I'm going to say it. I don't think humiliation is a viable path to enlightenment or ascension in any religion or context or in any era. I think it's a failed mechanism, psychologically speaking. I think it only produces subjects who are either so cooked by the humiliation that they seek it out over and over, or they deny it and seek to destroy the powers that levied it upon them. That's just my opinion. I mean, what do I know? Here we have Tom Cruise back on the streets. Blade Runner. Bathed in neon. Where are you going to go now? Ah. Man, it's making me hungry. I want eggs. Eggs and bacon. Whew. Protein. Good Good for you. Give him some coffee first to banish the parasites from the bacon and eggs he's about to eat. Good woman. Good diner employee. And she's like, he's like, well, I'm trying to get into the Satan Saturn Cafe next door, and it turns out his piano playing friend comes in here. How interesting. Such an obtuse interaction. I'm sure he's nonplussed. I'm sure he's totally free of anxiety about interacting with anybody. Again, he flashes his doctor card. Oh, as if a doctorate means jack shit to anybody. He uses his credentials. He abuses his credentials. Like James Figueras, he lies to get what he wants. He's a liar. Here's another Christmas tree. Right there. This guy's like, Mr. Nightingale's already checked out. I fucked his cloaca. I would know if he was still here. My bird-like nose. He went to re-nest. Also, that plant in the corner, it is in fact cannabis. Blatantly. I mean, everybody's high as fuck, probably for this entire shoot, this entire take. And Tom Cruise, again, fake smiles, creepy, rubbery, Jim Carrey kind of face. He's like, do you notice anything weird? And this guy's like, oh, you're not a cop, are you? Or else I'd have to kill you. And again, he flashes his wallet, his credentials, the doctor credential. My God, that's the door to heaven. All you have to do is be a doctor. That's all you need. As if. Ooh, he leans in. He came into my the hotel this morning with two women to disguise his gayness. Yeah, they weren't the kind you'd fool around with. No shit. Literally, they weren't shitty enough for him. They didn't spread their shitholes. Ah, Mr. Nightingale. You know, poets have written about nightingales. I wonder if that's relevant in any way to this film. I wonder if a poem about a nightingale has anything to do with anything in this film. Wouldn't that be an interesting question to answer? I wonder. He tried to fuck me. Pass me an envelope. Again, this guy's part of the cult, and he's testing Tom Cruise, who's not in. And again, it's another form of temptation. It's like, well, what are you, gay? Like, you don't like women? You don't like staring at their tits as a doctor? You're not secretly turned on by that? Well, what if you're gay? And Tom Cruise is like, no, that's not what I'm into either. And the guy wipes his head. He's like, my temptation failed. Oh, nuts. Satan's really gonna hate me for failing to tempt this guy. Oh, God. Satan. Oops. Oopsie poopsie. And he goes back to Rainbow. And again, we've got this creepy fucking Russian guy, and he's returning his costume. He's like, oh, yes, the cloak I sold you. Ah, yes, the war in Ukraine is not just another human sacrifice. There's definitely justification. Just look to the media lies we've collaborated with the West to construct. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's all cool. It's whatever, yo. Put it on the bill, but that's your name. Bill. And then, unlike earlier, he's totally nonplussed. He doesn't give a shit about this girl. Nothing matters. And here's the two Asian guys who were both in drag behind the door, eating fucking takeout. He's showing Tom Cruise. He's like, are you tempted by our secrecy? Are you tempted by anything? Are you tempted by the idea of the facade of secrecy? That's the real temptation is, well, we can keep everything secret. We can weave a whole fake reality for people where if they show up at our door, all the bullshit going on behind the scenes with underage girls and transgender Chinese hookers and whatever the fuck they are, whoever they are, it doesn't matter. We can just pretend it didn't happen. Are you going to break that silence? Are you going to be uncool? Are you going to tell the truth? Again, very burnt orange heresy. And again, Tom Cruise in this film, his character is being pitted against his own wife, who's saying, how far are you willing to go to prove that you aren't tempted? Are you willing to cover up the activities of freaks and demons just to maintain your own facade of failing to be tempted? The problem is, Tom Cruise's character in this doesn't seem to be tempted. He's genuinely unfazed. He doesn't give a shit. So reality is going to have to get weirder and more fucked up in order to try to tempt him. And when it fails, maybe reality itself just collapses. We don't know. If no temptation reality can offer is enough, what's left? Murder, suicide, rape, pedophilia, all these creepy things. If none of them tempt him, what else is left? The idea of temptation? The concept? The mystery? Is that all that's left? What if even that isn't enough? What if there isn't anything that can tempt this guy? It almost makes this guy creepier. Creepier than a lot of things. Maybe creepier than anything. He's looking up at the cameras. Oh, The stone mansion of the Victorians. What could possibly lie within? Ooh. It's Joseph Mengele there to serve him. You know, sir, we've experimented on white people enough. We don't need your data anymore. Cease your inquiries immediately, or bad things will happen to you. And not in a good kind of BDSM way. They will just be bad things. They will just not be fun for you. And again, the piano music in the background, it's like his friend playing piano. Same type of thing. Summoning up that same kind of creepy synchronicity. A creepy little piano note. And what does the letter say? Give up your inquiries which are completely useless, and consider these words a second warning. We hope for your own good that this will be sufficient. But again, is this a test? His wife was already wearing a wire in the first fucking scene. So his wife is either further along than him or has already been tested. Either or. His test, his little path or journey into hell, looks different than hers. And that's what makes this movie, again, very creepy. Both these characters go through a different series of challenges and paths and temptations. But they're not good temptations. This is all mediated by a cult. This entire illusion, this whole house, every object in it, its entire foundation and structure, down to the fucking concrete and rebar, it's all some kind of bullshit, some kind of test. And again, he's making excuses. He's like, oh, well, I gotta go back to the office, blah, blah, blah. His poor daughter wants a watchdog. Yeah, you should have a watchdog. Maybe it would bark at everybody who's trying to interact with both your parents and warn you that your parents are fucked. They're hypnotized boomers, raped by a satanic cult, and then numbed to the point where they don't even remember it. They know not what they do. Really, you could summarize this whole movie just with that little phrase, they know not what they do. They think they're doing the right thing. They're involved with creepy cults. They interpret those cults the ways those cults have told them to. They follow orders. They do exactly what they think is right. Even when they fuck with each other, they think that that's normal. They think that's part of the relationship. That's part of the deal. They've been told that. They've been programmed to think that. And they are totally beyond saving. The only humane thing to do is kill them. Euthanize them with perhaps a nanomachine. Perhaps some kind of virus. Maybe that would work. Maybe not. Maybe their genomes are too stubborn and they won't die when they're supposed to. Maybe they're confined, anchored, or stuck into the sexual mores they've been trained to obsess over, but never reveal. Maybe they're weaker than their descendants, who are more open about these sorts of things, and in their openness about sex, they're not as vulnerable. Maybe telling the truth makes you less vulnerable to people using it against you. Maybe even if you're destroyed socially, if you're cancelled by something that you said that was true, at least then you're free. If you're not, if you're uncancelled, aren't you just bound by the secrets that would cancel you? Aren't you just a slave to secrets? I don't know. Back in the Cro-Magnon days, it was no secret you had to beat to death your prey with a rock. It was no secret that you had to start a fire to stay warm. Nothing was secret. Nothing was concealed. Those that came up with the idea to conceal things were the first to control other people through that concealment. Secrecy is perhaps the first control mechanism. Breaking it is the first step to being free. Nothing should be secret, and nothing should be sacred. Secret, sacred, please, the same thing. It's pathetically obvious. This movie makes it obvious. This movie cracks your head open. It's very powerful. It's not something you should watch lightly, and I probably should have said that at the outset of this commentary. Your money, the money. You're the doctor who was here. Blah, 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 blah. Man, it looks like he's giving her like a box of Krispy Kremes. I really just want to eat Krispy Kremes right now. It's because I'm hungry. I'm the Hungarian guy from the beginning of the film. My hunger is influencing my take on this film. Ooh, the apple's gone from her little tree. This is the second time he's been to her apartment. There's no apple on the tree. Well, maybe you already ate it. Maybe the worm's already in you. Yeah, you're Sally, all right. You're sullied. You're sickening. And that jean jacket could not make her look more unattractive, man. Holy shit. Again, his grin is creepy to me. Tom Cruise's character in this, the way he grins at women who are trying to tempt him, is very creepy. It's a predatory grin. It's not a, well, I guess you're either the predator or the prey, aren't you? There's no middle ground in that relationship. I guess I'd rather be the predator too. I guess I understand why he grins the way he does. Better not to show your teeth at all. Better to keep things concealed. Serve your opponents the unknown. That's the best defense and offense. Better to reserve your smiles for occasions when they're demanded of you, not voluntary. Maybe that's why Tom Cruise's character is naive. He shows his teeth too much. Those prominent vampire canines. I mean, my God, Wesley Snipes is gonna roll through the window and fucking decapitate you, man. What are you doing? Anyway, guys, brief break. We're at 2 hours, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just like that, we are back, ladies and germs. Sorry for getting a bit faded and slow-brained during the last half hour of this. We're going to power through the next 40 minutes and get this shit done. Right now, Tom is talking to his hoe about some sort of HIV-positive blood test. And there's a nice vaginal apple painting behind him again. Eating the apple, eating the vagina, blah, blah, blah. I've talked about that in other videos. I'm not going to go over it again. I'm not talking about cunnilingus. I'm talking about something a lot worse. You know, watch my videos and like and subscribe if you want to know what I was really trying to say. And again, these people all seem totally fake and fucked up, and Tom is kind of looking around like, what does this world want me to do? What does this film want me to do? Can I offer you anything? Can I tempt you with anything? And Tom's like, no, bitch, you really can't. And that smile there, that fucking smile. I mean, goddamn. So nice to be older than 25. You can detect subtle emotional conveyance in facial expressions like that. When a person is putting energy into faking social niceties, you can see it on their face. It's great. I love this piano sting that plays during this scene. He's walking through this very obvious set. It's very obviously some kind of film studio, New York street set. Again, there's trivia about this movie, you know. I'm sure there's analyses that go into every fucking detail. Again, that's not what this is. That's not what I'm doing. If the last 29 minutes before this were not indicative of how casual this recording is, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I want these videos in general, these little commentary tracks, to be sort of like, I'm your virtual drunken buddy watching a movie with you, who happens to be a nerd about certain interpretive tools that can be applied to works of art. And I'm just sort of riffing. I don't know, that's the idea. And oh no, Tom's being followed by an epic, head-shaven CIA clone that just hatched from his vat, like a little lizard Eggman. He's starting to get annoyed at he's been on too much of that sativa. Tom, you gotta cut down on the weed, man. Your wife probably tempted you into smoking it. You shouldn't have done that. Your cannabinoid receptors were not ready. Ooh, even the taxis won't pick him up. Now you're really fucked. Not even your epic black trench coat will save you from this man. Just walk up to him and be like, hey bro, what's going on? He'd probably run away. That'd probably ruin his whole op. Just walk up to him and be like, hey bro, what's up? What are you gonna shoot me, stab me, rob me, report me to somebody? What's going on? Why are you out here at night? Go up to him and look him right in the eye and be like, excuse me, can I help you with anything? Op ruined. It's like, this shit is so fragile, man. It relies so much on you just being afraid. If you're not afraid of these people, they fuck off. Fear is the most powerful tool in their toolkit, and when you remove that, they're like kids playing with rocks in the sand. They don't know what to do. The minute you look at them and you go, you know what, I'm not afraid of you. You're going to kill me? Just fucking kill me. Why go through the drama? You're not even good at it. Fuck you. Imagine if that guy gets freaked out, he tries to hail a taxi, runs into the street and gets run over. Tom just reacts just like he does in this scene. He just looks away. He's like, guess they'll have to, I don't know, have to replace that guy, I guess. Wonder how much he cost. Yikes. So now he's retreating into this coffee house here. Much better art on the walls than in his fucking flat. There's a creepy vibe this movie gives off where it's like Tom's character is the only one in the simulation who knows he's in it. Like everybody seems so like nice to him, and the way he acts, like people seem to react to it in a way that's kind of creepily specific to him. It's a schizoaffective, paranoid tone that the movie's trying to set. And if you know anything about Kubrick, you'll know he was a pretty schizoaffective motherfucker. If that wasn't clear from his many films. And whatever that term means, however accurate it is, whatever. There's certainly degrees of it. You can be a functional alcoholic, just like you can be a functional schizoaffective person or full-on schizophrenic. It all depends on your particular brain chemistry. And of course, Tom's sitting down here, he's reading about the woman who died. Basically, the woman who sacrificed herself to prevent the cult from killing him. Or did she? I always wonder about that. Is she really dead, or did she just take a private jet to St. James? I mean, if you're paranoid, if you're not an idiot, why would you believe that she actually died? Like, just because a newspaper has an article in it. You know, if you're this deep, if you're as deep as Tom's character is in this film, why would you believe anything? You know, why would you be afraid of anything? I mean, fear should have left you at this point. You know, I'd just be running around naked on fucking LSD, pissing on people. I mean, I'd be trying to break the simulation at this point if I was as deep as this guy. But you know, he's a stoic. He's a good example of a stoic. Doesn't matter how much shit creeps him out, he's able to keep his head cool. Kind of the model agent, really. Or the model cult member. Now, is he looking up the woman from the mask party, or is he looking up the woman that the woman in the apartment told him about? I'm getting my wires crossed here. It's a long movie, guys. I had to take a break from the last recording. Give me a break. It's a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. I don't usually tackle movies this length because they're a pain in the ass. I can't do them in one session unless I'm really feeling energized, which is rare these days. I'm getting older. So I got to do them in parts. So there might be some inaccuracies in these commentaries. Well, it certainly looks like the woman from the mask party. Yep, okay. The voiceover is telling us that. And now she's unmasked, Tom. This is who she really was. Or it's a very similar corpse that was put here. Again, if you're Tom's character in this, you're an educated man, you're dedicated to rationality. I guess you wouldn't be taking random leaps of association and paranoia. But if people are clearly following you and your wife is engaged in some shady shit, I don't know, if it were me, I wouldn't even bother going to look at the corpse. But I guess by doing so, he's demonstrating at the very least his commitment to rationality. He's demonstrating, hey, crazy shit can go on around me forever, but I'll still be rational. You know, I'm not going to give in to insanity. I'm not going to give in to random associations that pop into my head. I'm going to scrutinize them. It's the whole point of reason. That's why they say it's a God-given mental habit. Really, it's a human-made mental habit. It's a mechanism of sanity preservation from ye olden days, when we didn't know a lot of shit, and we still don't really know anything. Oh God, fuck whatever I was saying. That shot of their eyes vertically meeting like that is great. It's like yin and yang, as above, so below. Dead woman, living man, all those juxtapositions in one scene. Very good. Good composition to that scene. And you know what, guys? The hospital has such bad art. I gotta revise my opinion of Tom's wife, Nicole, in this. You know, she might have something going with her shitty flower paintings because the paintings in this hospital hallway are so much worse. Uh, Jesus Christ. Just put the dying patients paintings on the walls. They'd be better than this crap. Whoa, this guy's tall. What is this, Lurch's son? This guy's got the Nephilim DNA in him. He's like,
my employers will see you now. I have to go back to my sleep chamber.
so look at this guy's apartment. Much nicer than Tom's. I guess that's the point. He's trying to claw his way up. Or he thinks he should. Very polite. He says, I won't drink unless you're drinking. And then, holy fuck, the amount of booze this guy has. Tom's a fucking doctor. He's like, bro, you're working on some cirrhosis right here, man. Compliments him on the party. Now he's talking about the masked one because this dude was one of the people there. It's implied that this guy is the head honcho. He was the dude sitting on the Illuminati throne. And he's like, I was just swinging a little bit and fucking some hoes. Kubrick wanted there to be children in the scene, but, you know, the cult killed him for trying to push the envelope a little too far. And again, he offers him a game. He says, I don't want to play the game, I just want to watch. The whole Illuminati shit with the checkerboard floor, if it wasn't blindingly obvious to you guys, it's a chessboard. The implication is reality is a game, and we're all higher dimensional beings, or demons, or angels, or aliens, or whatever the fuck, and we're playing a game, like D&D. That's what this cult wants you to believe about reality. So games are very important to these freaks. So Tom's offer here, where the guy's like, do you want to play a game? And he goes, no, I'll just watch the game. That's important. That matters. That's a line of dialogue that actually matters to the theme of the film. I don't mean to sound impatient, but that's, that's what's going on here. It's very obvious once you realize it, once you recognize these metaphors, they're not that subtle. They're actually quite obvious. It's almost like the cult's trying to attract people who think they're smart just for recognizing a metaphor. Like, any moron can take an intro to English lit and recognize what a metaphor is. You can fucking Google it. If that's your recruitment tool, Jesus Christ, guys, no wonder you're getting slop recruits. Like, I like D&D, I like chessboards. I played Sonic as a kid. I like games. Can I play a game? Is reality a game? If everything's a game, that's really cool. That's your recruiting tool? Fucking Jesus Christ, man. If reality's a game, killing people and raping doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want, right? Oh, I have to owe you for a favor? Favors for favors? Secrets for secrets? Okay. Duh! I'm a moron. I think reality's just a game. Maybe it's more complex than that, and what you do actually matters in a more subtle sense than just shitty metaphors and blatant, obvious symbolism. And again, this guy's like, I saw everything. He was the dude on the throne. Pay attention to the red pool table. It's red like his cloak. I wouldn't be going into schizo details like that if I wasn't watching a Kubrick film. But that's what we're doing. We're watching a Kubrick film. And this guy's like, how the fuck did you infiltrate this cult without us intending for you to be a recruit? We design everything. How did you hack the game? You're like Neo from The Matrix. It was the pianist. He's like, I know how you got in, man. It was that mouthy piano player friend of yours. And this guy goes, no, this guy leaked information. He told you a secret. And now I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated. Ooh, humiliation. What a tragic thing to happen to you. I love it. Tom, again, that smile is so funny. He's like, this is all such crap. Like, his smile is so good in this. What a god to smile the way he does in this. This fucking scene, man. He's like, I'd rather just twist your head off your neck, but I'm just gonna go ahead and smile instead. It's just so fucking... the level of restraint, man. He should be leading the cult. I guess that's why he's moved up the ranks in Scientology in real life. He's like, it's better to just grin like a angry ape than to actually react. Better to just smile. Like the Joker, man. Can you imagine Tom Cruise's Joker? There's a fucking thought popped into my head just now. My God. Put Tom Cruise under the Joker paint. Holy shit, Tom Cruise would make a great Joker. It's probably the best thing I've said in this whole commentary. Most of you won't hear it because you're not going to watch this far. But doesn't matter. They're just doing the exposition of, this is how we found out you got into the Eyes Wide Shut party. And again, this guy's like, oh, your friend? He's back with his family. No, he's probably dead, buried under a bridge somewhere in Brooklyn or something, man. Come on. To this guy's credit, the old dude of a certain persuasion, he seems to be trying to be amicable. He's like, everybody was there. Trump, Biden, Kamala, everyone. Obama. Not knowing the password probably gave you away. Imagine if it was something really obvious and stupid, something Tom could have guessed. Like, what's the secret password? Kid butt. Like, just that's the password. And they're like, oh, it's fine. He is one of us. Imagine if it was that simple. Or imagine if Tom had just brought a couple pipe bombs into the mansion. Wouldn't have that made for a great finale. But then we wouldn't have this good scene, so... Again, Tom's like, I'm not going to play this shitty, creepy game. It's gay. It's corny. I'd rather die alone than play a game this fucking Reddit. It's so cheesy, man. Creepy, rich, fucked up nerds made these cults. And there's cults for every tier of person, every income bracket. There's cults for idiots and hillbillies and hicks. There's cults for religious fanatics. There's cults for doctors. There's cults for politicians. There's temptation at every level. Doesn't matter who you are or how smart you are or how smart you think you are. There's some group that wants to sap your energy. The only thing you can do that makes sense is be independent. Even if you have to hawk merch from Redbubble to your YouTube fans, it's better than being this guy's little cuck. Anything's better than that. I mean, my God, who would want to be this guy? I wouldn't even want to be the leader. What a fucking pain in the ass. I have to manage all these autistic, rich businessmen and functioning schizo-autismo freaks and give them whatever weird sex they want. What a nightmare job. Can you imagine being this guy? It'd be like being Satan. Be like, oh God, I gotta manage all these damned souls. What a fucking chore this is. Miss me with that shit. At least if you're a comedian, you can make yourself laugh every now and then, and you can bring people some measure of joy through mirth and laughter. If you're this fuck, or his crusty minions, fuck off, man. Anyway, let's rubber band back to what they're saying. A charade. Ooh, like he was being tested. Isn't that interesting? You'll recall I suggested that in the earlier part of this commentary. You should think I'm very smart for suggesting it. And again, Tom's character in this. He seems to be reacting genuinely, but I wonder if he's faking it. Wouldn't that be interesting? If he's performing for the performers. That would be Kubrick levels to scare you. Because again, the only reason that Tom's not dead, I love how he claps. He's like, good show, old chap. Nice stage performance. The only reason they haven't killed Tom and that he's not rotting under a bridge in Brooklyn somewhere is because he's a rich, prominent doctor that got this goon, this glasses-wearing fuck, out of a nasty jam with an OD. He got the guy out of it. So the guy did him a favor. It's very mafia-like. These organizations are not mystical and spiritual and cool. They're just mafia with some nicer paint on top. That's all they are. That's all any of them are. They're mafia groups with some nice wood paneling glued on top of them. And it's not even the real wood paneling, it's fake shit from China. It's pathetic. None of them are brave enough to go it alone. They need a big group of thralls and minions and cohorts and networks to do their little bidding for them. They need to swap favors like you would swap spit. They're afraid of being alone to the point where they sell their souls. That's the real temptation in the end, is fear of loneliness. If you're not afraid of being alone, that's maybe one of the last barriers to cross. If you don't crave love and you don't mind being alone, if you don't feel vindictive or vengeful, if you just enjoy solitude, if you can at least manage it or appreciate it, that to me it's one of the highest virtues. Yes, let's cut the bullshit so I can talk about what you're actually saying, please. Oh, and she makes the nice 666 sign with his hands when he says she was just fine. And again, Tom was initially roped into this by saving a guy from being associated with a girl ODing. Now he's claiming the same things happened. And he's like, this chick was damaged, she just died, whatever. And he brings up the other OD. Very suspicious that you have two women ODing. Maybe these sex parties aren't very healthy for people. It's almost like people have to do a bunch of drugs to suspend their natural moral compass to engage in shady shit. Now they're trying to comfort him because they like him. Because he's resistant to temptation, they're now trying to calm him down. They're like, don't go crazy, bro. We're cool. If you're off-put by death, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Nobody actually died. We can change the narrative on the fly. Just like that. Oh, actually, that isn't what happened. It was actually this that happened. Just believe me. I just told you. Now, Tom, thankfully, his character, is smarter than this. He's like, I don't know about anything this guy said. Ooh, should have locked your door with those extra locks there, Tom. I guess he doesn't care. He just didn't notice it. Maybe Kubrick wanted to edit that little scene, but he never got the chance. Ooh, spooky. Finally, Tom looks at one of the fucking Christmas trees and shuts it off. Good man. Stop worshipping Nimrod. He's had enough adulation for the past however many thousand years. Also, why the fuck do they have a menorah? Is his wife Jewish? Is he Jewish? What the fuck? Got a menorah sitting there. Is that just for cultural flavor? What the fuck is that doing there? Very Christian household other than that. Yeah. Maybe it's not the right number of candles. I don't know. It looks like a menorah, but I don't think it is. It's just a weird candelabra, I guess. Again, I love that they've got his daughter's art on the wall, and it's like, yeah, your wife's just about at that same level. She's about at the level of a 7-year-old. I know I keep harping on the art, but God, it's bad. Maybe it wasn't the character in the film. Maybe it was Kubrick's wife who painted some of these. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. Again, I don't watch dissections of this movie. Ooh, now your wife is attracted to your masked persona instead of the real you. Oh, Tom, how will you deal with this? How will you react? How horrifying. The horror. Don't have a heart attack, Tom. Keep it together. Creepy image, though. I do love the music in this. Music in these scenes is great. Just simple piano. Like his friend Nick, playing him out. He starts crying. He's like, she's fully into the cult. She doesn't love the real me anymore. She loves the persona I put on. And finally, he breaks. And we see his temptation was that he loves his wife. That's his weakness. He didn't want her to fall for a fake version of himself. He couldn't deal with it. He's broken. Buck broken, if you will. He confesses to the woman who in one of the first scenes was already wearing a wire. He's not confessing to anybody who didn't already know at least some of what he went through. Now, implication is they've been up all night, smoking cigs. And she's sort of disgusted, like there's a sense of disgust here. Like, oh God. My new cult masters would be disgusted by this shitty version of my husband. He just told me everything, and he doesn't even know I'm one of them. What a shitty secret keeper. Fuck secrets. Secrets kill. Truth does the opposite. Gives life, sets you free. Secrets kill you, or they keep you dead. Keep you in the grave. And now they have to go through a Christmas celebration. They're all sleep deprived. They got to take her to a nice, very red toy store. And the board game there, you'll notice it says Magic Circle. It's another epic Kubrick Rubik's Cube prop meme for you to dissect with your autism brain. Of course it's creepy. Everything in this is supposed to be creepy. It's like, oh, it's old-fashioned to like having children. Don't fantasize about having kids, because you're about to be sacrificed to the cult in this famous final scene. You have to wait and see if you survive that long. Haha. Ooh, that Kinects display, that's where I'd be, man. As a kid, I'd be all up in the Kinects. Tom's like, well, we're in pretty fucking deep right now. What the fuck do we do? Oh, Barbie. We should go see the Barbie movie. Buy some merch. That'll help. God, those are some ugly glasses, man. Oh, gratitude. Grateful to who and for what? You cooked bitch. She's like, oh, we played a pretty good D&D campaign, you know? Doesn't matter if it was real or not. In fact, nothing matters. Not even our child. Eve tempting Adam. If we're starving, let's just eat our unborn children or our stillborn children in the Cro-Magnon caves. That won't affect our development at all as a species if we just eat our own people. That won't cause a certain kind of fall from grace that's totally irreversible. That's not what the apple represents, guys. The apple is not a miscarried fetus that was stillborn during times of famine when early humans were struggling to survive and the females ate the children first and then shared the meat with the men, sharing the apple. That's not what that represents. I'm not saying that. I would never argue that. That's just pure insanity. I don't know of anybody who would make that claim. Anybody who would, I mean, you just have to write them off as insane. It's a good line from Tom's character. No dream is ever just a dream. You know, it means something. It's your brain trying to process something. Sure. Sure it is. Oh yeah, you're awake. You're both asleep. Freak drones. And again, that's Tom's flaw. It's his temptation. It turns out he was holding it all together for his wife. Oh, Tom, don't do anything that might frighten or disturb me. Compromise our entire moral compass and spiritual purity and every good thing that can possibly exist in our lives. Just give it all up for me. Man, imagine this is your wife. What a nightmare. Rather die alone. And there we are. We cut to black. And there was a scene earlier I neglected to comment on when two shady men were leading Tom and Nicole's daughter away through the toy aisles. So basically the implication is, if you haven't heard this theory already, that they had to give up their daughter to smooth things over with the cult. That's the implication. And again, Kubrick didn't finish this movie. Who knows what it would have looked like if he had. In any case, I finished this commentary, which was a pain in the ass. So I hope you enjoyed it, or at least some part of it. And if you watched this far, I genuinely appreciate your viewership. I hope you're doing well in your life. Don't get too crazy or afraid of any of this shit. Just don't join these cults. They're creepy and it's not worth whatever they're promising you. It's better to go your own way. Have friends, have a family, you know. Have all the things that you're supposed to have to be a normal, healthy person. Don't think that a cult can replace them, because it can't. None of them can. I won't say anything about religions, because those can do some good, but cults are pretty much universally sewers for shitty people. In any case, guys, the movie's over. And my commentary must end. So thanks again for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the content, and as always, peace out.